Hello, everybody. This is Devlin with Atlanta News First. Thank you so much for joining me this fine Monday afternoon, Monday evening, I should say. It's a pleasure to have you on board. We're going to walk you through some of today's top stories. It's been an interesting Monday, a lot of things going on all over the place from a lot of different sectors. But I want to jump into one that you all have probably heard about and are very aware of. We've been covering this one for a while now, and it's kind of coming to a head tonight. We're going to reach one of those landmarks where we get a lot more information on the topic. I'm talking about the Atlanta Public Safety Training Center, of course, and how the City Council, Atlanta City Council, will be voting on the final tier of funding when it comes to this safety training center. We've been covering this for years, guys. They have been building it up in DeKalb County for the basically the City of Atlanta Police Department to better train, to better prepare their officers for what it takes to police a city the size of Atlanta. But there's a lot of protests and a lot of backlash from the public, either from people who are saying the facility is not environmentally sound, or saying that they are worried that it will militarize police forces, or whatever it is. It's a long list of potential protests and reasonings as to why people do not want this facility to be built. The most recent one is going on today, right now, right this instant at City Hall, where, and I'm going to take you guys inside really quick, where you have a bunch of people showing up to the chambers protesting the facility. Right now, City Hall is going to use about $67 million of taxpayer money to fund certain aspects of the facility, including the relocation process, gymnasium, some other components. But there's a lot of people that are showing up today to express their displeasure of the facility, saying they do not want their money to go towards something like this. 300 to 400 people have already spoken to City Council, and this is something that's expected to run until 2 or 3 a.m. this morning, because everybody that shows up, all these people you're looking at, have to have the opportunity to speak before council. And so the thing is, though, as these people express their displeasure and as these people say they don't want their money to go to this is a large population for inside City Hall, but it's a small population of the greater Atlanta area. City Council has pretty much already locked up and decided they will be approving this funding later tonight when they vote, after everybody has spoken. It'll be, according to Patrick Quinn, who's there on the ground and has been inside sources speaking to council members for weeks and weeks and weeks, it's likely going to go 11-4, maybe 10-5, but an overwhelming majority as far as the council voting on this to pass. And Cop City has been one of those things that has been reverberating through the Atlanta area for a while now, where you continuously hear about violence, you continuously hear about protests. A protester was shot and killed at the site in January, I believe, maybe February, don't quote me on that, Manuel Tehran. They were at the site protesting along with others. You've seen that video of those Mazel Tov cocktails being thrown and thrown over at police officers in every capacity. It's been a mess. It's been a mess, honestly, over this area so far. But it's coming now to the point where there is no return. This is what it'll look like when it's finished right here. It is almost done, but we're not there quite yet. Yeah, and like I was saying, a lot of just unfortunate instances that have been surrounding this, like the Molotov cocktails, like the protests, like the protester getting shot and killed. There's been protests at the Atlanta City Police Center. There's been protests at the police department. It's been all over the place. But tonight we'll learn if City is going to fund this or not, and it's very likely that they will. That's our big story tonight. I believe Tori Cooper is at City Hall right now. Patrick Quinn was at City Hall all day today, and it's just one of those things we got to keep our eyes on, and it's going to impact you too, because if you're in Atlanta, this is your tax money that's going towards this facility as a whole. So the next story I want to talk to you guys about, switching gears, no pun intended on that one either, because what we've got is in Forsyth County, a Ferrari up there was clocked going 178 miles an hour. And that is fast. That is a very, very fast driving vehicle in that capacity. So this was on Georgia 400 up in Forsyth County. And what you had was Forsyth County Police basically on their normal patrol, clocking a driver in a Ferrari going 178 miles an hour. To give you an idea of just how fast that is, I think your car, most likely, maybe you've topped 85, 90. It probably starts to shake when you hit 100 for whatever reason. 178 miles per hour is absolutely insane. But that's what you get when you get these supercars, guys. They are capable of doing just that. And so police did not say if they arrested the super speeder or what happened in regards, or if they were issued a citation in the capacity. They just basically shamed him on social media and said this is just unacceptable, because they're right. You're not only putting yourself at risk, but even if you don't care about yourself going 178 miles an hour, anything goes wrong, you get in an accident, a tire pops, whatever it is, you could also put other people at risk. So do not speed on Georgia's highways. And if you're going to speed, 178 miles per hour is just a ridiculous number to even fathom as far as speed in a vehicle. Last thing I want to talk to you guys about here today is the third and final story on my list here. Young Thug's younger brother, Quintavious Greer, has been sentenced to prison after breaking his probation. He got arrested last month on gun charges. He was on probation. He was not supposed to have a weapon as a convicted felon. He had the gun. He was arrested and charged with it. And so the judge tacked on 9 years and 6 months to his prison sentence. And so he will now be headed to jail. And this is just the latest installment in the YSL trial, which has been going on, one of the longest cases in Georgia history. And we've been covering that very extensively, not only from inside the courtroom, but the impacts outside of the courtroom. You've had lawyers give up and quit, talk about going on OnlyFans. You've had lawyers complain about their payments. You've had arrest in the courtroom. You've had Young Thug be hospitalized after being in court. It's been a crazy, insane trial, and it continues on and on and on each day. And we're not really getting to the end here. We are making progress, but they're still selecting jurors, which is an extensive process because they've been through hundreds so far and they have not selected or seated their jury yet. And that's the first step, honestly, just getting a jury in court so you can move forward with the case. But they have not had a single session of court yet involving anything beyond jury selection. And so what we have is this long drawn out process where they are still actively looking to pull this thing together. And now Young Thug's brother will be going to jail. He was originally arrested in connection to the YSL case. And now, as I said, can't run around with a gun if you're on probation. He was caught, according to police, 9 years, 6 months for Quintavious Greer. So we're going to move on here, and we're going to jump into weather. Not much to say, not much to complain about when it comes to the weather outside today. You can take a look for yourself and see just how beautiful of a day it has been outside so far. As the sun continues to set over Midtown Atlanta, I want to bring in Patrick Pete, who is going to be talking to us a little bit about the weather. Patrick, you're on Max 2, correct?
Yes, sir.
And there you are, my man. All right, he's going to take over, guys, and talk to you about what's coming up as we continue to roll into our June. Patrick?
Yes, sir. Listen here. It is a beautiful end to the day. We had some pop-ups earlier in extreme North Georgia. It's been in the mountains, and it stayed in the mountains. Thankfully, most of that energy has subsided, and anything that we see over the course of the next couple of hours should just be some isolated sprinkles at best. We had one severe thunderstorm warning that has since expired. That was in extreme North Georgia, Northeast Georgia, Habersham County, to be specific. Meanwhile, the forecast over the course of the next couple of days, we do expect a spotty shower to be possible tomorrow. Models have not been in agreement of that, but what we're seeing here is just the boundary that's going to be around that's going to bring us a chance of some isolated pop-ups, especially in the afternoon. Nothing that's too heavy. Thursday, we're watching a system that's going to be sinking down from the north. It's a cold front, and that's going to bring some showers to extreme North Georgia. Now, guidance has been showing that system will be weakening as it sinks further south. So we'll see those showers in North Georgia. There may be some stray sprinkles in the metro, and then it should essentially dry itself out by the time it gets to places like Buds, Upson counties. So as long as that continues to be the trend, we will not first alert Thursday because it's not looking to be that big of a deal. But if that line holds together a little bit longer and brings a little bit heavier rain a little bit further south into parts of metro Atlanta, we may first alert Thursday. So you'll want to stay with us as we fine-tune that forecast over the course of the next couple of days. One of the things that we try to do with these first alerts is give you a heads up whenever we think that you will be impacted. So meanwhile, drying out for the second half of the week. Let's get through the next 24 hours. And we're expecting lots of sunshine tomorrow morning. The air is just a little bit more stable earlier in the day. The sun hasn't had enough time to bubble things up so to speak. By 12 o'clock, still looking pretty good, picture perfect as far as the skies are concerned. As we head into the afternoon, that's whenever guidance is picking up on some of these showers and storms firing up. I do think this is a little bit overdone, just looking at the dynamics and the way things have played out so far over the course of the last couple of weeks. Nonetheless, spotty showers and thunderstorms for sure will be around for the evening commute, and then they will dissipate as we lose the sun. So sunset essentially cuts off that gas supply to these storms, and they should wane, much like the showers and the storms that we've been tracking this evening have waned. So out the door in the morning, going to be a warm one. Listen, if you get to dress for, comfort to work. I know some of you all are working from home. That's the big trend now. Lots of my friends, y'all have the ability to just do that. It's going to be shorts, t-shirts, and flip-flops type of day. But if you are heading into the office, you're going to want to wear that thinnest shirt, because we're going to get into the 80s quickly. By lunchtime at 82 degrees, getting into the mid-80s for the afternoon. And then we'll track those spotty pop-up showers and storms through the evening commute, clearing out and calming down as we push into the evening hours. Not as much moisture around on Wednesday, so a lower rain chance. So instead of 30% like we're doing tomorrow, we're going to go 20% on Wednesday. Dry start, mid to upper 60s, so pretty comfortable. But look how quickly we get into the mid 80s. Those winds out of the west are going to be hauling. We're talking about 10 to 15 miles per hour winds. That's going to be enough to really just warm things up pretty quickly. Into the upper 80s, we go into the afternoon. I will not be surprised if some spots hit 90 degrees. It's all going to depend on where these pop-ups fire up. If you're under the pop-ups, you're probably not going to get to 90. But some of these other locations, I'm looking at you in Rome, I'm looking at you in LaGrange, and maybe even over in Athens, we'll get into close to that 90-degree territory. Meanwhile, cooling down as we push into the evening hours. And then here is that cold front that's going to slide through Thursday. So you can see how it's more of a cohesive line as it's making its way into North Georgia earlier in the morning. By the afternoon, that line is not as cohesive, not as much, not as vibrant. So that means that those showers will be diminishing, and it really just kind of tears apart as it sinks through portions of middle Georgia. So no concerns there. We'll continue to fine tune this forecast. Friday is looking pretty dry. The temperatures for Friday are going to be quite nice as well. Listen, if there's a day, I know that some of you all during COVID rolled over a lot of your vacation days, so you were sitting on like a bank of like something like 50 days, 45 days. If you have a day that you can spare, maybe go ahead and call in and maybe spend a day at the pool with the kids or the friends, whatever the case may be. Friday is going to be the day. Lots of sun, lower humidity, mid 80s. It does not get any better than Friday. Meanwhile, Saturday, we're looking at a good mix of sun and clouds, upper 80s. And we're watching Sunday and Monday because what we're seeing is that guidance is hinting at a stronger front pushing through the area, one with a little bit more instability. And really the only reason we're not first alerting this is because we want to see a couple of model runs for the timing, because just within today, we have a team of 7 meteorologists. Just within today's, all of us have looked throughout the day at different times, and that timing went from early Saturday to late Sunday. So we're pretty confident that Saturday is going to be dry. We're pretty confident that Sunday morning is going to be dry. Right now, it looks like the chance for showers and storms will arrive sometime late Sunday evening, and it's going to stick around, unfortunately, into your Monday. So once we get a lock on the timing, once we see some consensus, then we'll throw a first alert probably for one of those 2 days. But for now, just heads up, we're watching Sunday and Monday. So that means that this week, for the most part, is going to be a win. There's not a whole lot not to like. It is summertime, so to expect nothing but sun and gorgeous temperatures is, really not the trend of being in the South. But we will stay on top of the forecast. Of course, you can catch us tomorrow throughout the day. We'll be tracking those showers and those pop-ups as they come. A good time to download the First Alert Weather app, because I don't know about you all, but this weekend it came in super handy. I don't know what you did, but I spent all day, all of Saturday in the pool for about 5 to 6 hours. And then me and a large chunk of the Atlanta News First team, we actually went out to the Pride 5K and had a nice time running. Our very own meteorologist, Fred Campagna, completed, I think he was top 10 in the race, but he was number 1 in his age group. So, he got himself a nice hefty medal. And it was a little bit cloudy, so we had some spotty showers that came toward the end. Most importantly, though, for the second half of the day, while we were tracking the showers and the storms as they were firing up across the area in the afternoon, I was trying to get some things done outside in between. And my phone, my First Alert weather app, alerted me that there was lightning 11 miles away, and then it was 8 miles away, and then it was 4 miles away. So I knew what I needed to do. I got it done, and then I was able to get back inside and keep myself safe. And I'm a weather nerd, so I was watching the storms on my radar. So, but you all don't have to do all that, but you can because it's all on the First Alert weather app. Anyways, happy Monday. It is Monday. A little bit long-winded because it was a great Monday. We had a station family barbecue, and it was amazing. So, I'm in a good mood. 2 popsicles in, and I'm hoping that your Monday was as fantastic as ours has been. Because we're well-fed, that means everybody is like on 10. So we have lots of stuff coming at you at 9 o'clock on Peachtree TV, and it's only going to get better as we progress through the night. And that final look at your forecast and, of course, the events of the day at Atlanta News First, 11 p.m. tonight. So I'm going to leave you all with the 7 days so that you can, get this picture frozen in your minds, and then I will see you guys at 10. Happy Monday.